video, I would like to talk about what I don't like about movies. Editing. Too much editing ruins the movie. I'm referring to one movie in particular called Cop Out. Well, they aired it on Comedy Central a couple weeks ago. I would say about 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, and they edited out that movie so much, like at least 95% of it, that movie sucked on TV broadcasting, because all that movie is basically cussing, profanity, but that's what makes it funny. And if you take out the majority of those words, it doesn't make a good movie. And another movie in particular I didn't really care for, because they got rid of a key person in the actual movie and made him not who the character is supposed to be played by, or vice versa, is the Mandarin from the Iron Man series. The Mandarin is supposed to be Chinese. He's not supposed to be Arabic. He's not supposed to be some other foreign diplomat or somebody like that who is supposed to be Iron Man's arch enemy. He's supposed to be Chinese, not any other race. I guess when Disney takes over a license, they practically ruin the whole thing. If it's not their own personal license, like one of their own franchises, like Boy Meets World, they ruin it. I mean, I watched Iron Man 3 thinking that they were gonna actually pick like some Chinese guy. Like Jet Li could have been a perfect person to play the Mandarin, because he's already played an evil emperor. Or they could have picked another Chinese guy, but they didn't pick the right actor to play the Mandarin. And the Mandarin's not white. He's Chinese. Okay? The Mandarin is supposed to be Chinese, and the leader of AIM is supposed to be MODOK, which that would make sense as that character who portrays the Mandarin as his character. I mean, when I was watching Iron Man 3, I was totally disappointed. I was distraught with disgust of that movie. I was really actually disappointed in who they picked as the Mandarin, because he's supposed to be Chinese, not any other race or anything like that. That's too much editing for the true Iron Man fans out there. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. I was distraught when they did that. I was like, what the fuck was this? I was like, really? I was like, that was like, it was like that. And I felt the same way with Cop Out too. I'm like, even though that movie has a lot of profanity, cuss words, that movie had so much editing in Comedy Central that you might as well not air that movie. because that movie is nothing but profanity. It ruins the movie if you edit in too much of the movie. When that movie is based on prophetic cuss words and all that. That's what makes it funny. If you ruin it by editing 95% of it, then why even air it at all? And I felt the same way when Iron Man 2 came out. Because I was like, Whiplash is not he's not a main bad guy. He's probably a third-rate bad guy or second-rate bad guy, but he's not a main bad guy, like a superpower bad guy. He's one of Mandarin's flunkies. I mean, when it comes to comic books, when it comes to Iron Man in general, I was really disappointed in the last two. Not Iron Man 1. I was really proud of what they did with Iron Man 1 because Iron Man 1 was awesome. Iron Man 2, not so much. Iron Man 3, not so much. And honestly, Thor 1 was awesome too. But after the first one, they sucked. I was like, when I was watching Thor in the Dark World thing, I was like thinking, are they making a Star Wars movie? And with the exception of, what was it? The Hulk movie, the second one was probably better than the first one. That's the legitimate Iron Man, the legitimate Hulk movie, which was the second one, rather than the first one. But everybody who has played Bruce Banner has done a superb job. Even Chris Hemsworth, who plays Thor, has done a fantastic job. Even Robert Downey Jr. But if you edit so much of what the true core of certain movies are, you get rid of the quality that movies possess. Honestly, if I was doing the Iron Man movies, the first one was perfect. The second one, I would have put the final bad guy as Fing Fang Foom leading up to the Mandarin. But I would have rather, for the Mandarin, I would have picked an actual Chinese guy to play him. Anybody. I would have picked anybody to play the Mandarin. Because the Mandarin is actually a Chinese guy. Or something like I would have picked any actor who was Chinese to play the Mandarin. Anybody. I mean, anyone. But when it comes to Disney owning licenses, I can't. When it comes to Marvel, they take too many liberties. Because they own it now, so they make it more kid-friendly, or they lack the quality for me. Like my cousins like the Marvel movies. I get that. But if you're talking about a true hardcore Iron Man fan, you can't take liberties like that. No way. And same goes for whoever was a Batman fan. You can't take liberties like that. that goes for any comic book fan in general. They would be pissed if you took liberties like that. It doesn't make any sense to me that Iron Man, out of all the franchises, they have a core story, and Disney ruined it. And honestly, Comedy Central ruined Cop Out because they edited so much. I know before they air the movie, they say this was edited from the original version. But if you edit about 90% of a movie, it ruins the quality of the movie. That goes for anything. Movies in general. If you edit so much, then it ruins the movie. I don't understand why people make a movie and not show the whole thing in its entirety. Some editing is okay, but not if the movie calls for 90% of profanity and you edit about 95% of it? Or something like that? It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why would you ever... What I'm saying to you, Comedy Central, and to any other company that edits movies, why are you editing so much of the movie that ruins it? I mean, it ruins it. To me, Iron Man 1 exists, Iron Man 2 doesn't exist, Iron Man 3 doesn't exist, and honestly, I watched all the Captain America movies, and picking Chris Evans as Captain America, I will honestly still think of him as Johnny Storm, because he still looks like Johnny. He doesn't look like Captain America. Maybe if you waited a couple of years, I would see it. Like when they did Winter Soldier, that I could take him somewhat seriously in that movie, but I couldn't take him that seriously in the Avengers movie. And honestly, if the one liberty I hate about the Marvel movie with Ultron was you put Pietro in it. Pietro is Magneto's son. He's too much of a daddy's boy to be an Avenger. Where was Black Panther? Where was Wonder Man? But why did you make Vision? And also, why did you make Vision Tony Stark's computer? Why? Why did you make him Jarvis? I don't understand that. That's the one thing that I was like... And then Jarvis actually turned into Friday? What's up with that? It doesn't make any sense to me. That's too many liberties. You could have actually put Jarvis as a human to make sense that he turns into Simon as Wonder Man. I mean, if that's a liberty that needs to be taken to make sense of it. I'm like, what the? I got lost in that movie when I was watching Ultron, the Avengers movie. I was like, what the heck was that? And don't get me wrong, Scarlett Johansson is a very beautiful woman, but I don't see her. I would have actually picked a Russian woman who actually speaks English to play Natasha Romanoff. I mean, good English. Like, I would have picked anyone. But don't get me wrong. It's the editing that I have a problem with. When you take too many liberties like that, movies actually suck. And everybody who's played Bruce Banner, just Bruce Banner, not the Hulk, has done a fantastic job. But when you take too many liberties like that, with the Avengers franchise like that, that makes it suck. Like, I mean, okay, look, Robert Downey Jr. basically saved the first Avengers movie from being terrible. I mean, terrible. Like, he saved it from being bad. And honestly, I would say the original Fantastic Four movies were good, but I would have actually picked, as the Invisible Woman, Heather Locklear to play that role. Jessica, don't get me wrong, Jessica Alba's another beautiful woman, but she's not old enough to play Johnny Storm's sister at the time. So, but now I understand why my friend told me the new Fantastic Four movie was actually bad. Because I actually watched it on HBO. I was like, okay. I was like, that's not right. Movies in general who do too much editing are basically garbage. It basically doesn't. It takes away from the quality of movie that you're actually watching. In my opinion. When it comes to Marvel movies or things in general, if I watched it enough times, I know what it needs to do. But see, I would have never picked Pietro as one of the Avengers, Magneto's son, because technically he's too much of a baby for He's got daddy issues to be an Avengers. I mean, come on. If you take liberties like that, then Disney needs to... And also, Disney needs to stop putting Walt Disney's name after the credits of movies. I mean, Walt Disney would have probably never bought Marvel in the first place if he wasn't quote-unquote alive. But he would have never bought it because he's a storyteller. That's just my personal opinion. Because if I was Walt Disney, I would have never bought Marvel. I would have actually... If I bought Marvel, I would have kept Marvel. I would have put my name attached to it. That's what I would have done. But I don't have billions of dollars. At least not yet. Oh, hopefully I will eventually. But not right now. But The first Iron Man movie was awesome. The second one, not so much. The third one, I was like, what was that? I guess when it comes to Disney's original IPs like Lab Rats or something like that, or even Girl Meets World, those are perfect because those are their licenses. But when it comes to Marvel, not so much, because I finally was wondering, where's Madam Web? And I finally found out that she was actually going to be in this season, because I watched the cartoon version that they had her in. But then again, they made her a young woman. Madam Web is at least, 3,000 years old? Or something like that? I don't know the exact number. Eons of age-wise. That's why she's smarter than Peter Parker, allegedly, because she could see the future, past, present, and all that other good stuff. But I was wondering, why does she look 20 in the Ultimate Spider-Man, the Disney XD one? I was wondering why she looked like she was 20 or something like that. But I was wondering why they didn't show her in the first place in the Spider-Man Secret Wars, when they had all the 6 Spider-Men in that series. But why are they showing her now? The Secret Wars are over. Allegedly, in that 1990, I'm thinking back to the 1995 version of Spider-Man. So I'm comparing the two, and I'm looking back and comparing the two simultaneously while I'm talking. So I'm like, what? Why are they showing her now instead of earlier? But what I ultimately wanted to say in this video was, why are movies taking too many liberties? Why? It shouldn't be this hard. Like, why so much editing? They already edit about 4 hours into the movie. Like, if they made a 4-hour movie, they cut out to at least 2 hours. Why even edit words they say when it's supposed to be said? I mean, like, when Comedy Central airs that movie like Cop Out, if you're not gonna show the whole movie in its profanity entirety, don't even air it at all if you're gonna show that kind of movie. Even when I'm watching Rush Hour, I'm kind of somewhat disappointed because they edit out certain profanity words that they had in the original version. I mean, but I'm a huge fan of Rush Hour also. But I wonder when they're gonna actually come out with Rush Hour 2 in Blu-ray format. I know it's in the UK already, but when is it gonna actually come out here in the States? Or do I have to go on Amazon and buy it, the UK version, because I'll never see the light of day for Rush Hour 2? I wonder. Well, that is it for this video. Please subscribe, it would really help me out. So, have a nice day.
to speech unavailable here.